Diego Pavia and the offense are rolling, but it'll be Quincy Skinner and Junior Sherrill that will move it forward. Let's get it.
You are Locked On Vandy, your daily podcast on the Vanderbilt Commodores, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into the Locked On Vandy podcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm your host, Corey Burton. Thanks for making Locked On Vandy your first listen every single day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube as a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Now, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. So visit FanDuel.com to get started. Now, joining me is Kurt Page. Welcome back, Kurt. Vandy's offense, like I said, is rolling. But how do they progress? How do they move forward? What can Vandy do to get Quincy Skinner and Junior Sherrill more involved to push this offense forward?
Well, I think, Corey, the number one thing is just give them targets. You know, there's going to be man-to-man coverage. I mean, that's what that teams are having to do defensively against us. And I believe both those guys can beat man-to-man coverage, and we just need to give some targets and put the ball in the facility. They got a great catch radius, and I'm excited to see how they're going against South Carolina with a huge defensive line players they've got for South Carolina. It's going to be a huge matchup.
You know what they should do, Kurt, is they should adopt our traffic light principle.
Yes, red, yellow, green.
Red, yellow, green.
Offense in America.
Yeah,
and we're going to have some courses on that, and Corey's going to be helping me get those developed. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, we're gonna bring it to you. We're gonna get some film. It's going to be awesome. We're going to show you how to complete some easy passes and get your offense rolling. And that's what Diego Pavia is going to have to do, man. I mean, I think just getting the ball out quickly and just getting it to them, short passes, let them run after the catch, just eat up yards. I mean, I think that's the best thing to do to wear this defense down. I mean, if you want to neutralize those two NFL guys they have over there in Kennard and Stewart, you have to keep them on the field. You have to keep them pursuing. So screens, quick throws, slants, hitches, speed outs. Now, Kurt, I love this personally, and I wish I would have done it more when we were together at Hillwood with Hale Page. Yeah. But the quick sprint out to the speed out, like that's
absolutely. I think that can be a big play for Vanderbilt. I think it's an easy throw. It's both the guys that you mentioned. You know, Vanderbilt's quarterback and Hillwood's quarterback back in the day in 2018. They both they can throw off platform. They like that, and Pavier's very accurate doing that. And another thing too is I think if we can do some crackers, you know, cut block these guys too. I mean, get after them, you know, sprinting out. You know, I still think you can do that as long as you go attack them right now and not set things up and go cut block. But I think that can really present some get the arms down, if you will, you know. And I think that's what Pavia at times has had problems because he's not the tallest guy in the room. So that we get the pass rush down and get them cut blocked and get their hands down, I think that's going to be very beneficial.
Now, Pavia, I don't think, you know, in weeks past he's been successful, but I don't think this week he's going to be successful in being able to run around in the pocket and creating space, because those guys will eat that space completely and close that down on him in a hurry. He's not going to be able to get the edge like he normally does unless he has help. So part of that is, you know, implement some throwback screens, implement some things where you're getting the ball out quick. I mean, just things that he can do creatively to find some space, I think would be the most beneficial there.
Well, I think the best film they can look at, Corey, and you know, you're a film study guy and a research guy, was how well they contain Milroe. And I'm not saying Milroe is the world's best quarterback, but he has probably got the most talent as a runner, probably in the SEC, maybe in the country. And so Pavia, if that guy can't get loose, it's going to be tough on our guy. So we've got to, like you said, we got to move the pocket, throw quick screens back away from there, get them moving one way, throw the other way. Counter runs might be good, but counter runs with a pass might even be better. So I think you're on to something. And hopefully over there on West End, they're listening. I know you've been with them ever since January, when it all started.
When Pavia,
I keep telling you, keep speaking it, because I believe people are listening and taking notice and bringing good, successful ideas to them. And a lot of times people are searching for that. And I believe Clark Lea and their staff, I think they're researchers at heart, and they believe there's an art and a science to this winning formula that they're developing.
Yeah, I mean, how do you evaluate as far as when you're implementing adjustments, when you're putting in wrinkles to be able to contest two guys like this? How do you evaluate what is too much, what is just enough? What do you think? What is the process that Tim Beck and Jerry Kill are going through to figure out? Okay, we can do this, but maybe we need to hold off on that, or how does that work?
Well, I think, of course, a great question. I think the number one thing is situational football, and it all ties in to where they're on the field. What's the situation? I mean, think back to a couple of weeks ago, we played Kentucky. The walk-on slot back, he had his one moment in time, and it was one route on the field in this possession, and it was a game winner. It was a knockout punch. So I think that's what they sit there. And the thing is, these guys have been together for years and seasons. So they've been through these ups and downs, ebbs and flows of the game. And so I think you try to see what has already been on film that's worked against one defender and also the other defender, and you don't have to reinvent it. You just kind of put your little artistic work on it to what's going to be successful. I mean, the shuffle pass, that's kind of gone away. This might be the week that we sprint out and shuffle, because those guys are long and they're going to be racing up the field, and maybe we can get something there. Maybe a shuffle play with a delay, the old Mike Leach, where you sprint like you're running the shuffle, and then you just turn and run the handoff like a counter with that. Mike Leach ran that a lot when he was at Washington State and, of course, at Mississippi State. So like you're saying, it's any type of misdirection, any type of use their strengths against them. That's the number one thing. And Jerry Kill and Tim Beck and the offensive staff, even the Chris, the offensive line coach. Yeah. I mean, they're all on the same page. I mean, those guys are making it happen and working in a unison, and it's fun to see. But yeah, 2 or 3 plays situational when they gotta have it. I think they're gonna be able to present it Saturday afternoon.
Oh, absolutely. And part of that evaluation process is personnel. And one of the things I thought they've ever since they made this switch was, and I think it was after the Missouri game, they made the switch and then they go on this tear, is Castillo was at guard, Losoya was at center.
Yeah.
Well, you have Castillo, who's a absolute monster.
Mountain. He's a mountain of a man.
And then you have Losoya, who's athletic. Well, your guards are pulling more.
Yeah.
And even Losoya's big, but he's athletic, so he kind of fits in that strong side, he's going to block down a lot, but if you need to break tendency and have your strong guy pull and get on the second level, he can do it. Yeah. And then you move Castillo to center. If you see a lot of odd front, he can just destroy a one technique or a zero nose.
Yes.
And that simple flip has made all the difference in the world.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. I mean, basically that guy is a mammoth of a man. We've had, knock on some wood now, we've had good snaps. When you have a center and you make a change, third, fourth ball game in the season, you wonder, okay, has he had enough snaps? And I guess the coaching is superior. That was not even a concern. Yeah. And what a big guy in the middle. I mean, it's kind of like like they say in baseball, having your best players at catcher, your best player at shortstop, your best player at center field. And we did the similar thing at Prattville. Coach Goble, he made the change for his offensive line here at Prattville High School, put our best player, our guy that's getting recruited for college football teams, moved him to center, and it made us a much better, cohesive offensive team.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that seemed to make all the difference in the world. And then the personnel groupings that I love with getting Stowers involved in the game plan, him and Cole Spence, and 12 personnel, 22 personnel is the best package that they have, because you get Newberry on the field, you get Alexander,
Right.
and then you get Spence and Stowers together. I think that's your best combo with either Junior Sherrill or Quincy Skinner. I think that's your best personnel package, because Stowers is versatile. He can be the pitch guy on option.
Yeah.
He can be the shovel guy on the shovel option. He can be the hide screen guy. I mean, any of that.
Is he just not a younger version of a Kelso or one of those guys? I mean,
Kittle, Kelsey.
You watch that guy, and he's just spitting image of those guys, man. And he's got the flamboyancy to move around, and I mean, nothing affects him. I know he's beat up, because he's in battling big guys, and he's putting his body in harm's way. And what I really liked at the Auburn game, we were there in person. What I really liked was how they showed two receivers on the left, and they shifted one tight end and loaded him on the end, and then shifted the other tight end, and they got unbalanced. And Auburn had no answer for that time after time. And that was the wrinkle that we always kind of went to. We needed 3, 4, 5 yards or 6 yards, They
could never respond.
And they never could. It's not a whole lot you can do. You set your 3 technique and your 1 technique, and you don't want those big guys moving. So all of a sudden, the 3 technique is usually going to the tight end, the heavy side. So they put him into there, and then we shifted first and then motion. So now we're blocking down that 1 technique, and I think even we had our strong side already on that side, so it just made it like it was kind of unfair, because we had our strengths going against their weaknesses time after time, and I think that's frustrating. Even though we only had a little over 200 yards of total offense, but they were the yards needed when we needed them, where they kind of let Auburn do the old school. We're going to let to run from a 30 to 30, and then we're going to clamp you down, and your guy can't make a field goal, And if they don't have a great play, Corey, I was there. If they don't have a great play on that 13, they may not ever have scored on our defense. That guy made an NFL-type play. However, he did fun within the game. We ripped it out of him. C.J. Tate, that was a beautiful play. It was so exciting to be there in person. It was really, really exciting, and to hang out with Pavier's brothers for a couple of quarters and listen to those guys from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and they have a swag second to none. And but it was fun. But I tell you, the next 3 ball games are going to be huge for Vanderbilt because, just the length of our season, the physical toughness that it's going to take for us to dig down and win a game at home against South Carolina, who I think we're the most underrated, but I think they're the second most underrated team in the SEC.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we'll talk about how underrated how underrated they are next. Stay tuned. All right, this episode is presented to you by Robinhood. With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get the rates and perks usually reserved for high society. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.5% APY on uninvested cash and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on an IRA account. Robinhood Gold provides privileges of the high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. That's pretty cool. The new gold standard here is with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhoodgold.com or robinhood.com/gold. Again, that's robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For specific disclosures, visit robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rates may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. And guess what? You can take you can get ready to tackle NFL action or college football action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. You can't beat that. You cannot beat that, Kurt. Absolutely.
And they're listening to you, Corey, so I'm sure a lot of people have made some money betting on Vanderbilt.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on. We're getting points, and we're winning outright. How sweet is that?
4-1 so far in the middle 6. Can't beat that. So the FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL and college football all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. So just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for making Locked On Vandy your first listen today and every day. For your second listen, check out Locked On SEC. Host Chris Gordy holds no punches, covering the best conference in college football. So find Locked On SEC on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. And every Thursday, we squad up. The SEC Squad Show drops every single Thursday, where all of us SEC hosts get together and hilarity ensues, just so you know. But Kurt Page is still with us, and we're talking. We mentioned right before we wanted to tell you about Robinhood and FanDuel that South Carolina might be the second most underrated team in the conference, and for good reason. I see a lot of similarity here. I was looking at them. I see a lot of similarity in how they're built with Vanderbilt. As far as like how they play. Now, obviously they have different dudes, like their two edge guys are by far their best players on defense. You have Kevin Kennard and Stewart there. They're going to be two NFL guys. Absolutely. But Vanderbilt's built very similar. They have Miles Capers as their star edge guy. They have Corday Sidnor, Langston Patterson. South Carolina has a really formidable defense too, full of a bunch of overachieving guys, and they play well. Lenora Sellers, Diego Pavia, two very similar styles quarterback, two very different sizes. Lenora Sellers is a monster. Pavia is like the dude you would see on the street and not think he'd play football at all. And then you see him play and you're just like, holy cow, that guy's not human. So. And then they both have really good, Cedric Alexander and Rocket Sanders, both highly productive running backs. So Lenora Sellers, we'll start there. Vandy's defense is going to have their hands full. This is going to be a tough game for Vandy. They're going to have their hands full. Sellers is an elite runner. Rocket Sanders is an elite runner. They have a passing game that's developing. Sellers is developing as a passer. But I think the advantage here for Vandy's defense is that I think South Carolina is just starting to find their identity, so they I don't think they're to the point where they're putting it together consistently. And they had a massive victory against Texas A&M. They're poised for one of those letdown games because I don't know this is familiar territory for them just yet. Their timeline is kind of shifted from Vandy's timeline. Vandy experienced a lot of this earlier in the season. South Carolina is experiencing it now. Right. So how do they get their offense going? Clark Lea does a really good job of finding out what you do well and stopping it, forcing you to panic and figure out what plan B is, or even plan C, because Clark Lea's definitely taking away plan A. He's going to make you struggle to earn plan B, and he's going to make you beat you. He's going to make you beat him with your plan C.
I think so, Clark. I think the big thing Clark Lea's going to do, number one, is key on that tailback and limit his avenues to run. I mean, kind of like he did Saturday with Auburn's tailback that came in that game nearly 300 yards rushing the prior week versus Kentucky. They just got away from – he had two runs in the second half. So, I think he's going to load the box. He's going to be heavy in the middle, heavy off tackle. And if they're going to run the ball, they're going to see 8-9 man in the box. And I think we're going to play off outside and make Sellers throw the football to those guys, and then we can rally up and tackle. That's the formula that we played against Auburn. I don't see the game plan being much different. However, the quarterback runs better than Auburn, but Auburn's quarterback he was slippery at times. But I think you got to take away the tailback first. You got to force them to pass the ball between the 30s and then shut them down. Now, the thing about Beamer, just like his dad, they're going to be solid in the kicking game. They're going to make their field goals. And I think that's going to be the difference for us we got a tremendous young kicker. I think they got tremendous young kicking specialists. So I think it's going to get down to whoever gets the most shots at getting points. And I think Clark Lea is very astute at knowing when we need a field goal, when we need a touchdown. And I think that they're all in sync on what they need when they need it. You can see that just see it plain. I could see it plain as day at the Auburn game. There was never a doubt, Corey, in that stadium who was going to win from start to finish. You just sensed it. There was and everybody knew. It's like the players knew.
Yeah,
and hopefully we can carry that forward. I mean, basically they let him throw passes. They trusted it. Now Cam Coleman, number 8 for Auburn, is the elite wide receiver. They had one target to that kid, 2 targets. He caught 1 pass. And I think that's what we got to do. That's to be the formula, is make them throw to some guys they're not comfortable to, and make them, even the quarterback, pull it down and try to run. Now, design quarterback runs, that's going to be hard to defend because they're very knowledgeable in that. And I trust their offensive coordinator because he's gotten that kid loose many, many times already this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just going to throw as many bodies into those A and B gaps as they can. I think if they can, find ways to force them to run sideways, that's gonna play to their advantage. And of course, with a young quarterback that's still finding his way as a passer. Yeah. Now
I know where you're going. Show him one thing, but end up in something else.
That and
roll
also
too high, roll down to 0. Show him 0 and bail out of there. 4 deep. And go right into coverage.
Oh, absolutely, and then have a controlled rush against him because
controlled rush. Never pass him on the edges.
Push the pocket and just
push the pocket up in the middle, make him bounce outside, throwing sideways.
That's excruciating for a young quarterback when
it's very.
The pocket is slowly collapsing, and you're like, okay, pocket's what do I do? What do I do?
Have happy feet. Yeah, I see that happening this week, and I see him a lot like Nico in Tennessee. I think they're parallel type in their careers. I think the kid LSU quarterback, and he's a little bit better, but he's vulnerable to the INT. So, I think we have some really good matchups the next 3 games. I'd love to go 3-0. I'll settle for 2 and 3. Just knowing, the degree of difficulty in SEC at this time of the year. But hey, we've got, in my opinion, we've got the best quarterback going. And the thing is, he may not be the biggest, might not have the most arm, but everybody in that organization believes in that guy. That's the difference maker. The kicker believes in him. Everybody believes in him.
Yeah,
and, that's the bottom line. And what a unbelievable. That was my first in stadium experience on the road watching that guy perform, and it was just. I mean, just activating the other guys around him, extending plays, handing balls off, pushing the pile, getting knocked over.
All with having a beat up leg.
Oh yeah, and the shoulder too. You can tell his mechanics. That off week is going to be really good for him. I hope he can really get a lot of full attention, maybe a lot of massages, maybe a lot of physical rehab. Yeah. So he can really be good for LSU and Tennessee in our bowl game.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to talk about some mindset, some psychology here next when we come back. So stay tuned for that. All right, buckle up for this one. It's we got hymns. That's right, guys. You ever need a boost in the bedroom? Well, it's time you stop worrying about your performance and get hymns, so you can feel confident and whatever you get in the mood. So HIMSS is changing men's health care by providing you with access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort of your couch. HIMSS is providing access to a range of doctors' trusted ED treatments like chewable hard mints and Viagra and Cialis and their generics for up to 95% cheaper. The process is 100% online, and there's no need for uncomfortable doctor visits or conversations like this one. So just answer a series of questions on their site, and a medical provider will determine the right treatment option. If prescribed, your medication ships directly to you in discreet packaging, because that's definitely what you need, and for free. No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. With hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, HIMS can help you find the ED option that works for you. So start your free online visit today at hims.com/lockedon. That's HIMS.com/lockedon for your personalized ED treatment options. hims.com/lockedon. The products mentioned are chewable compounded products which are not approved by or verified or safety effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions required online consultation with a healthcare provider to determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Prices vary based on product and subscription plan. All
well
right.
done.
There you go. And I got through that one. All right, here we go. We're wrapping up the show here. I got a few minutes left here with Dr. Kurt Page of Prattville High School, who could potentially be a coaching free agent. So if you're out there in the state of Alabama and you need a coach that can coach every position on the field, including strength and conditioning, this guy right here.
Well, I appreciate it, Corey. Yeah, J.B. Wallace gave me an opportunity to coach at his alma mater for his last season as a head football coach, and we finished 5-5, and wish him all the best. And his illustrious, he's still a young man, so
yeah,
he's going to be coaching some other places as well too.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll interested to see what happens down there at Prattville. So, but talking about mindset, right? Because as a football program, as you're shifting a mindset from rock bottom, which that was where Vandy was last year. This time last year, they were at rock bottom. You shift that mindset to, okay, we just got to survive this season. We just got to survive to where they are now. So the mindset has shifted to that. Now you come in, you got a ton of confidence right now, but also you have this giant, I don't even want to call it a monkey anymore. It might be a gorilla. It's a 15-game losing streak that's just riding on your shoulders and riding on your back that you just have to remove immediately or it's going to crush you. How does that mindset of there's got to be some pressure there. How does that mindset affect their preparation? How does it affect them in game? Like, let's say first series, South Carolina or Vandy wins the toss, defers, South Carolina receives, and they rip it right down the field and score.
Well, I think the very, very first thing, I think Clark Lea is steady in the boat, first of all, as a leader. And I think he believes in the principles over personalities mindset, meaning he knows what is a winning formula. He is taught the winning formula. And when the winning formula is executed, things are going to go good. Now, what happens, unexpected storms come, like you just mentioned. We kick the ball off. They bust off an 80-yard touchdown. It's time to reset. Every time something like that happens, we have to reset. And I think that's principles over personalities. That personality, that long run has now taken on its own personality. Now, are you going to go back to your principles, or are you going to let that personality keep creeping up? You're going to let them have another 50-yard run, or you're going to let them have another 80-yard run. So he has to reset. And I believe he has those guys at a point right now that they understand that they are in control of their controllables, and principles over personalities happens. That mindset can be effective not only in football but in life. And I think that's what Clark Lea is teaching those young men.
Yeah, man, they've done it all season long, but there's that extra layer of pressure of, okay, we've got to get this gorilla off her back, and you fear that there's going to be a little bit of pressing. Now, they haven't given, this team has not given you any reason so far this year to make you believe that, other than the fact that they haven't beat South Carolina in 15 years. But, against Texas in the second quarter demolished them. I mean, they went, I think, 21 unanswered. Vandy couldn't stop turning the ball over. They were just stepping all over themselves. And then in the second half, they pull it together. They unfortunately, they let Texas stretch that lead out a little too far, where it became they just ran out of time. But those type of things, like against Georgia State, adversity struck a little bit early in that game, and I think they reverted back to their 2023 mindset of just total deflatedness.
Right.
And Georgia State took advantage of that. Missouri, I think they got a little tight at the end of the game, and they were in an unfamiliar situation where, it shouldn't have been unfamiliar because they did it a few weeks prior against Virginia Tech. But they're like, okay, we're on the road, we're about to win this game, and all of a sudden they bust the coverage, and Luther Burden gives Missouri the momentum they need. But it's just all about mindset. It's all about how quickly can you erase that emotional interference? How quickly can you fix that? How quickly can you bail the water out of the boat when water comes in? It's more about that, I think, than preventative. Instead of trying so hard to keep the water out of the boat, you do everything you can to prepare, obviously, but that water is going to spill into the boat no matter what you do. It's how you respond when that water's coming in, and it's coming in faster than you thought, and you're having to scramble to get how do you calm yourself down and bail the water out?
Yeah, well, I think the thing where Clark Lea, I think his greatest coaching has happened after adversity has hit us. For example, you mentioned in Missouri. The guy was coming across in motion, and he ran an out and up, double move. They scored. Georgia State, we get the score. We lead less than a minute. We give up a little stutter and go for a touchdown. Against Auburn, the guy comes across the field in motion. First thing I'm thinking, is this cornerback going to be aggressive, or is he going to back up and say, okay, if you're going to beat me, you're going to have to throw the ball, complete the ball, and then I'm going to have to miss the tackle. And guess what? They did that twice on key plays. First time the kid caught it, we tackled him. It was a first down, but not a touchdown. So I think he has got those guys now to understand that is their shot play, if you will. And at Georgia State, we didn't defend it well. At Missouri, we didn't defend it well, so we lost. At Auburn, we defended their shot play that Hugh Freeze had, and we won the game. They had another play where they ran a skinny post down the center field with the tight end, and he was wide open, but we had tremendous drops from inside linebacker because they carried him. It was I think it was an old school cover two where the Mike has to run with the tight end, Yeah,
old school Bonnie Kiffin.
Yeah, yes. Tampa 2. So I think that was the call, and I think he just made him throw it too high, and thank goodness the guy, Eli Sowers, probably makes that play.
Yeah, he was
number 13 makes that play, but they throw it to the other tight end who's not that guy. So, but then that goes to coaching. Auburn didn't put their best guy in a position to make that play. So a lot of times that's where my hat's off to these guys at Vandy, because when we have a shot play, it seems like we dial up the right person at the right play. Like Eli Sowers making plays, Quincy Searle, 4th and 1 against Alabama. We scramble to the left and we throw. I think it was to that guy. It's one-on-one.
I think.
You know them all.
Makes a Willie Mays catch too.
Yes. So, I mean, and they practice. The walk-on kid from that scored against Kentucky. I think that's coaching. That's coaching, and that is eliminating emotional interference. That is priming those gentlemen. This is your time. This is your shot play. And that's why I keep preaching you, Corey. You're on here every night. I promise you, somebody at West End, they've got enough analysts in the room. They are listening to what you're giving them since back in January. A lot of times when you don't have many people that believe in you and only one person, you're like the silent whisperer. You're the lone wolf. You're the outpost guy. And that's what you were, and that's what you've been for Vanderbilt Commodores. And lo and behold, it happened, but no surprise to you. Yeah. And no surprise to me after being with you, listening to the team we were putting together, offensive staff to go along with Clark Lea. I said all along a year ago, some of the best defensive coordinators don't even call and live in Nashville, not even calling defense. Mike Vrabel, he didn't call defense at Tennessee Titans. If he called defenses, I think he's still there. Rex Ryan lives in Brentwood. I think he's not calling. And then Clark Lea, those three guys. And thank goodness our guy listened and made a decision that I'm the best defensive caller that we got on our campus, and I'm gonna make it happen. And everything else is gonna fall. I trust everything else is gonna fall in place. and that's what they've done. And it's exciting because they are doing some great things. And we're looking forward to seeing them on Dudley Field at First Bank Stadium Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to be a great game, great affair, and I think I'm going to leave you with this. It's going to come down with coach. It's going to come down to coaching, and I'm going to leave this because I'm going to talk about it more in the preview show where I talk about the keys of the game. But it's going to come down to coaching, and I think that's where Vandy has the advantage here. I think Vandy has a chance to outcoach, and I think highly of Shane Beamer. I think he's a really good coach.
100%.
I think he's misunderstood.
He gets it. He gets it. Yeah.
And sometimes it took him a minute, just like it took Clark Lea a minute. But I think he's starting to kind of understand, like, okay, this is how I can, we've got to have, if we're going to get Lenore Sellers, we got to have a certain identity. But, he's starting to get it. But I think right now he's not far enough along to where, I think Clark Lea has gotten it now. Yeah. And so I think that small, minute difference right there, I think is going to be just like the point spread, a small, minute difference. I think that's going to tip the scales in Vandy's favor, even though South Carolina is arguably the more talented team overall. If you go roster to roster, but I think if you go staff to staff, I think Vandy has the advantage. I mean, I think Jerry Kill gives you that advantage alone.
Yeah, he's a marvelous addition. Yeah. Just want the guy to stay healthy. So thankful he's with us in black and gold.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What a great kid, and you know that. I mean, you were sounding at the very first moment that you heard about it and knew about it.
I'm a big Jerry Kill fan. Yeah, I've been a fan of his for a long time.
Yeah, and the guy's been wherever he's been, it's produced results.
Yeah,
and he's a process-driven guy. You don't hear him speaking all over on TikTok. He's not. That's not him. But he's down there with.
Although he'd be the guy on TikTok.
I loved watching him warm up for the Auburn game and saw him in end zone with the Union and the offensive line and just getting those guys ready. And I mean, it's impressive to see him go on the road. It's not easy to win at Jordan-Hare, and they did that. And I know South Carolina had a huge win, but they were at home. Like you're building up. You're dropping some seeds right there. They had a huge home victory. They had an unbelievable game to score 44 points and hold Texas A&M, who was just coming in there after dominating the prior game for themselves. So what a huge victory for them. I'm not wishing that they're flat, but I won't be surprised if they are flat. And all we got to do is get a score or two ahead of you, and then you start pressing, and you're playing right into our hand, and you know that. And those are seeds of the game, and I can't wait to hear what you're going to have pregame about all the ins and outs and how you see it, because you've been outstanding, and I think everybody that's betting on these games, and I don't bet, but
at least if you're betting on Vandy, I've pretty much Vandy. I don't know about anybody else.
You have just really opened up a lot of people's eyes on the coaching and the day-to-day, because I think with NIL nowadays and with transfer portal, it's more like us high school coaches and high school players, because you gotta mold a lot of different personalities that you don't have time to. He ain't had 3 or 4 years for some of them. A few guys he had. C.J. Taylor came back. The only reason he came back was Clark Lea's the defensive coordinator. Yes. You talked about it on your show.
Yeah.
And then he did the recruiting for the other. He needed that long defensive back from Wyoming. He needed him. He needed this. He needed that.
He needed Brandon Fontenette.
Yes,
Fontenette's been the best player on defense. He's been the best player there. He is. And what's crazy is, like, you don't hear of any discontent with C.J. Taylor.
Oh no,
but Fontenette's overshadowed.
Yeah, both those guys are going to play in the league. I mean, those
guys are having
Clark Lea. And that's got to help us in the portal right now. I'm sure Barton Simmons, our general manager, is in there, and Nick, those recruiting coordinators, they're in there just working. Who are the next best players that we can get? Because we're a destination now. We're not a kind of like James Franklin did to us. We're going to be here. It's a jumping spot. We win enough games, I get to leave. You won't see any of our best players leaving next year. You'll see our best players recruiting like C.J. Taylor did So let's get from 8
NIL, it's there.
Yeah. So let's get to 7, 8. Let's get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Why not us? Why not VU? Why not us?
Why not go to the fastest growing city in the country?
Yeah. I mean, and you have, and I promise you, they are listening. People are listening, and they need that, because this day and time, people get told what all you can't do, Corey.
Yeah.
So many times in life, people are told what they can't do. We can't do this. We can't do that. We don't have this. We don't have 100,000 seat stadium. We're going to have a beautiful place to play in. It's going to be a fan favorite facility. Everything's leaning toward the fans. It's going to be some unbelievable areas. It's going to be some great visitor locker rooms they're building. I haven't had the grand tour yet.
Basketball facility is going to be attached to it as well. I mean, dining halls, just amenities. Yeah, it's going to be nice. And I think I'm hoping they expand the concourses a little bit too while they're at it, but because those things can get really tight.
Yeah.
I think, Vandy's got to just, I think Vandy for once has set their, speaking of mindset, is going full circle here, for once has set their mind to let's take advantage of what we have.
Yes.
And take advantage of what we have and use it against you and against your strengths.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a crowd we have a weird vibe crowd where it's half and half now, where it used to be 90-10, but let's finally take advantage of the fact that we're the home road team. And let's use that to our advantage and get juice from a quiet crowd, because that's what's going to happen when we play well at home. It's going to be a quiet crowd because it's all away fans. So they've kind of flipped the script on home field. They've kind of flipped home field advantage on its head a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have with their execution and their mindset, and I think you're hitting it right on the head. Is they embrace that, and that's our strength, and they're going for it. And I'm just excited for the guys and want them to get a home victory, and then have that off week, get down in the Bayou, Death Valley. Hopefully it's a Saturday night game, but if it's not, that plays into more of our strength. If it's Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning,
I hope it's an 11 a.m. game.
Time to get riled up, baby.
It's 11. I want an 11 a.m.
Play Tennessee.
Yeah,
we play Big Brother up there at University of Tennessee, so it'll be fun.
Tennessee tonight. Save our night game for Tennessee. Let's do an 11 a.m. kick in the Bayou. So, but that's we're gonna leave you right there, man. Mindset's important. I think Vandy has finally shifted their mindset to one that's more. Let's take advantage of what we do have, and let's make the best of it, and just try to play, you're not going to play catch up with the stadium. You're not going to play catch up with the facilities. You're not going to get there anytime soon. You just got to make the best of what you got. You got to hire. It's all about, it's people anyway. It's a people game. And Dan Campbell said it the best. I don't care if we play in a parking lot. I don't care if you play in a landfill. I don't care if you have one butt cheek and 3 toes. Right. We will beat your, yeah, we're going to fight.
I'm going to leave you with this. That I think Clark Lea even sees down the road, Nashville's going to have a Final Four, a national championship venue right in his hometown, right in his backyard. Don't be surprised if when it's built, that we don't move a game or 2 there and make it I think some guys that I know have already been talking. And maybe just sell a $10 ticket, all the upper, and make sure it's Vanderbilt people, and bring in a Nashville crowd. You know what I'm saying? Because if the Titans keep declining and we start trending this way, going up, and we go in there and play a couple of Saturdays, it's going to be electric in there. And nobody's really talking about that. But I think when that facility's built, it's going to be one of a kind. And, in this part of the country, I think Vegas is got something similar. LA's got something similar. And then Nashville, so I think they're all the same. According to Hal Page, he knows all this stuff about stadiums. He knows all this stuff about this stuff. And he's telling me all about it Saturday,
Oh, yeah, they want to get in on the Final Four action. They want to get in on the stuff that Atlanta's
been able to. I think we can move a game or two over there. Maybe a non-conference game, maybe with somebody like Cal. Maybe they represent the ACC one year. They're the champions, and we host them in there for like a kickoff classic or, Nashville
will get a kickoff classic. I guarantee you that.
Oh, absolutely.
They will get a kickoff classic. They may even get the one that's usually played in Charlotte. They may even move that to Nashville.
Yeah.
That wouldn't shock me one bit. So, well, we're going to leave you there, man. Kurt, always pleasure. Always, always, always. And I'll never not say that lamp behind you is awesome.
Well, my oldest son got that for me, and one of the prized possessions I've got here in the Puma in my camper.
There you go.
Prattville, Alabama.
There you go, man. Prattville, Alabama.
Yeah, Pratt Vegas, baby. Pratt Vegas.
Well, behave yourselves. Anchor down. We'll see you back here next time on the Locked On Vandy podcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Anchor down. Peace.